we go again. Every Saturday. Hey guys! The song selection today has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about. I just had the song stuck in my head and I wanted to hear it, so why not? And we got the eating little yuppie puppy here in the background. So yeah, this is what we're working with this week. It's Saturday, which means I'm back again. I don't know if you can see the spilled cinnamon sugar on my little placemat. Yes, words. On my placemat here. Oh no, okay. Sorry, I thought I erased my entire set of notes for this one because I have a not requested but sort of a specialty idea for today, but we'll get to that. So let's address the new guest here. These are the new Dunkin' Donuts donut fries. So this is a thing now. Yesterday was National Friday. I did have fries, but they were not donut fries, and so I have them today because I don't do my show on Saturdays. So I have that. I have my Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee with silk soy creamer, some donut fries. So let's get cracking, y'all. And the sound of puppy chewing in the back. It's really weird. Like, he does not eat as... It's kind of like when kids do certain things when people are around and not when their parents are around. Like, he doesn't eat his food really, like, if I'm just kind of like home and like walking around and like cleaning or doing anything. But the second I start doing this, he's like, oh, eating time. I think it's because he thinks this is his eating show too. And that's fine. Go ahead and eat, son. At any rate, so basically these are, I'm assuming like cinnamon sugar covered donuts, but they're in the shape of fries. I was getting into a debate with somebody at work of whether these are technically fries or not, or they're still a donut, because like, yes, they're in the shape of fries, but do fries have to be potatoes? Like, because I don't know. It's too complicated and I don't want to get into it right now. So let's taste test. I mean, it's alright. Kind of like a mini churro. It's okay. I'm not really a fan of donuts in general, so I don't know that I'm the right person to give an opinion on this sort of thing, but they're pretty good. I mean, if you want them, they're $2 at Dunkin'. They were giving some away for free yesterday, so there you go. I mean, that's a thing now. Good job keeping up with the times, Dunkin'. But anyway, so this week, I wanted to do this last week, but once I tell you what it is, you would understand why it would have been just like a complete disaster if I would have just tried to do this off the top of my head. Because this isn't the kind of thing that you can just, or at least I can just talk about and get out in 15 minutes or less. It would have taken me so much time to try to gather my thoughts, and I was way too scatterbrained last week. Like, there's no way I would have been able to get this all out in a clear, cohesive thing. So I decided to take some notes on it and organize my thoughts like Virgos do. So this week I have it's sort of tips, but also kind of like stages of what you should do to get through a breakup. I myself am not going through one, so calm down, everyone. It's fine. Someone in my family is going through a breakup, and this was after a very long-term relationship, and so it's really hard. I don't want to get too like sappy and into it, but the same kind of thing happened to me a few years ago, and so I understand and I do empathize with essentially having to start your life over because you had a plan and you were thinking that's how it was going to go, and then it doesn't. But the nice thing is that I was so young when it happened that like it's okay, like you can bounce back. So I would imagine this might not apply to someone who's like going through a divorce in their 50s, but if you are sort of around my age, like mid to early 20s, and you're going through it, these are for you. So this is also something that I mean, I guess it applied back then to me, but the steps are pretty similar now and are more based on like technology and social media. So if you're not on any of that stuff, first of all, you're lying. But second of all, just go watch something else or turn the volume down and just zone out and come back towards the end when it starts applying to you. So I think the first thing you have to do, and this doesn't have to be like the day of, literally, if you want to just take a day to mourn the loss of this relationship or whatever, no matter how long it was, just tell all your friends and family, hey, I'm okay, I'm just gonna sit with my thoughts, and just turn off your phone or just don't answer. Just like, if you just need to just kind of sit there and cry and grieve and like be in that state of sadness, go ahead and do it. But usually well, not usually, I'm not like a relationship expert, but what I would recommend is the first step is to remove them from your social media. And there are varying degrees of this. I'm not saying you have to go and like block them on everything, like you can't see me, I don't exist anymore. But I think at least for the first, I would say like maybe a couple weeks to a month or so, I would at least unfollow any of their posts, you know, mute them on Twitter or whatever it is. Just, even if it's not permanent, just make it so that you don't see them in your daily life for a little while, because you have to get used to that not being comfortable and your normal, because it's not your normal anymore. Your life is different, and that really sucks. But there's more to it, and you will get past this. So yeah, like I said, it doesn't have to be permanent, but you have to stop getting used to them being in your daily life so that you can get into a groove of life on your own. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like by yourself completely. If you have friends, that's awesome, you know. When this happened to me, I moved to another state completely, so it was really easy to start over. But for someone that maybe you live in a small town or something where it's a little bit harder to kind of get away from them, maybe just like don't go to the places that everyone goes to in your friend group or whatever. And that also complicates things if you have the same friends, but if you can, just do your best to not have to see them either in person or online on a daily basis, because that's gonna hurt you a lot. The second thing I think you should do is just stay busy. And I've heard this talked about in a movie about like how to get your man back when he's acting up, but what I mean by this is like, go to work if you have a job, be with your friends, go to the gym, just like keep your mind off of the fact that you are going through a breakup. Like any sort of hobby or anything you can do to just like not have to sit there and think about what's happening for a little bit, that's great. Maybe seeing new movies, something like, just keep your mind busy. And the reason why I say this is because I think if you have issues with yourself and you're trying to bring that into either the old relationship that you're going to want to get back into or into a relationship with someone else, I think you need to solve those for yourself. For example, when this happened to me, I started going to the gym a lot because I had, towards the tail end of that relationship, started working out and trying to get some self-confidence, but I wasn't really there yet. And so I think once I was kind of like forced to do that on my own and figure it out for myself, that's when I started to really not take it seriously, but just really get myself into it and go full force with it. And I got pretty good results from it. So I highly recommend it. But at any rate, I think you should just solve whatever you're dealing with. Not necessarily completely, but just know what your issues are and work on them before you try to, you know, involve another person. Because it'll be okay, I promise. The third step is to get okay with being alone. I think what I mean by that is that you have to just take some solo time, you know, to be in your own thoughts, process how you feel about everything, and I guess try to plan how your life is going to look now, because you thought it was going to be with this person where you were going to do all these things and whatever, and now you're not. So it's essentially just getting to know yourself and liking yourself, but by literally spending time with your own mind and in your own space, if you have it, to hash out a new plan for your life or figure out what you want in your life, basically. The fourth step I have is to put yourself back out on the market, because by this time I've already been talking for 10 minutes and I'm sure it's been several months for you if you're at this step. Not really, but it's at least been maybe a month or so, maybe a couple weeks, depending on how you handle things. And remember, like, everybody has their own pace with things, you know. Some people can get back out there like the next day. Other people say like 1 week for every month you were together, 1 month for every year. It just depends on you, you know, like, just go at your own pace and don't feel like you're holding yourself back for the thought that, well, maybe we'll get back together or whatever. Just, if you're not together, just figure out what you want, take care of yourself, and then when you're ready, like when you're actually ready, put yourself back out on the market. Go on dates, meet new people, go to new bars. Say hello, humans. We're back. Same setup, but different hair and beverage choice. Now back with a Le Croix. Fun story, my battery just up and died. It was blinking when I started and I thought, I can get through an entire coffee with Cass. It's only like 15 minutes, so I should have plenty of time. Spoiler alert, I didn't. So now it's just after lunch. So, I mean, cheers, I guess? Just drinking my angry water. But I wanted to stay on brand. I didn't finish the donut fries. I just put them away. They're pretty good. I think I would buy them like to share, but I wouldn't buy them for myself. But again, not a donut fan, so that's that. So now that I'm back, because I also just didn't have time before I had to leave to look for my charger, and I did end up finding it, but I was about to strip search my apartment because I knew it was here, I just didn't know where, and so I finally found it in one of my boxes. But anyway, I think I was getting to the end of 4. I have 6 steps, so it's like 12 steps, but you can get it done in half the time. Just kidding. So yeah, the last part of it is basically saying like, so with putting yourself back on the market, it doesn't necessarily have to be all at once, but I think what you need to do is figure out what your relationship agenda is, which I didn't know was a thing. I think I was listening to a podcast or something and I heard someone on it talking about it, and I couldn't tell you which podcast it was because I listened to so many and I don't remember off the top of my head, but I think everyone has a relationship agenda, which basically just means what you want out of life and a relationship with another person. And so you have to figure out what you want, because if you want kids or you want to do certain things and the person you're dating with doesn't want that, then maybe it's not going to work, you know. But I think you have to know that, so that when you do kind of like go on a date, maybe when you're first getting back out there, you're not really into getting into a relationship, you just want to casually date. You should probably, well, not even probably, you should be open and honest about that, because that's going to help you when you meet new people and you're trying to date them. If you find someone who wants the same things as you, then it works. And yeah, I mean, that's basically that step. Just know what you want before you get into a new situation with someone else. Not sponsored by LaCroix, or La Croix, however you say it. Or Dunkin Donuts, by the way. I just really love them. Step number 5 is be open to new experiences and try your best not to compare new people to your ex, and let go of any resentment you might have for them. What I mean by this is when you are going on dates with new people or meeting new people, I know at first it's really easy to compare and remember all the good times about someone, or certain things will trigger you in a way, or if it ended really badly, then you just are very angry with them or hurt with them. And you can't hold that against new people because they're not that person. And they weren't there for that. So you can't go into a new situation and take out your frustrations and anger with your previous person on a new person, because it's not fair, it's not healthy, and it wasn't their fault. You alright, Sash? She just wanted to let you guys know she's here. Okay, and the final step that I have, which really can be put in anywhere, I just wanted to save the best for last, is to take your time, because it really does heal any and all wounds that you are going to have or do currently have from your previous situation. So don't rush yourself in this process. And I know I kind of had said something similar before, but I really do mean it. You know, take your time, get to know yourself, and go through the steps at whatever pace you see fit, and not what you think the other person is doing or what you think is going to get back at them. You know, like this whole like revenge body or whatever, it's horseshit. Just have a revenge life. You know, get yourself to where you want to be so that you feel your best to give to another person. And you may have been that when you were in your previous situation, but it could have chipped away some of the things that you thought you were, or maybe your confidence has gone down, something's gone on. I'm not saying it necessarily had to, but if per se you are in that situation, build yourself back up, because it feels really good to be where you want to be with yourself before you start getting back out there. And then when you do find someone new, they can break your heart all over again. Yay! Totally kidding, but yeah, so that's my tips and tricks for anyone going through a breakup. I know it's still pretty much the heat of summer, so don't know that anyone is really going through breakup season. I feel like that was more the beginning of June, but I didn't have my thoughts together at that point to make a video like that, and I had other ideas. So yeah, thank you guys for watching for this week. I'm sorry about the technical difficulties, but I am going to charge my battery so that this doesn't happen again next week. And yeah, so see you guys next weekend. Thank you for watching. I love you, and yeah, bye.